Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we are continuing on, well, finishing actually our Three Kingdom coverage. Now we're on Zhuo, the final one. Yeah, that's right, the tyrant himself. So, obviously, the disclaimer, as always, all details included below are subject to change, development continues, and should not be considered final. Brilliant, now that's out of the way. Yeah, tyrant. We got the tyrant, his nickname is the tyrant, and it says the tyrant there, which I like. I like that that lines up, as I'm sure you've noticed if you watched all the series. So, Zhuo. A brutal despot who rules with an iron fist, governing through fear and intimidation. He took advantage of the ongoing chaos in the capital to offset his lack of popularity as a potential regent for the child emperor. He is trying to hold on to the last remnants of the Han imperial power, but as his fist grips tighter and tighter, opposition from the outside grows. Cool metaphor, I like that. So, who is he? Despite his reputation, Zhuo was a chivalrous youth with a talent for horseback archery, whose poor horse, anyway. So, who spent his earlier years travelling the Xiang, it's the Xiang, I think, Xiang region, and befriending many great men of valour. As an adult, he wasn't. He returned to his birthplace of Longxi Commandery and took up farming, inadvertently discovering a blade bearing the inscription, "Slices through jade, like so much logging." Weird inscription. I guess it sounds better in Chinese, I don't know. That the scholar Tai Yong claimed was the blade of the Xin dynasty? Yeah, the Xin dynasty. Warlord Xiang Yu. After a Xiang Yu? No, so it's, wait, hang on. Qin. No, it's the Qin dynasty, Xiang Yu. Cool. After a very successful period of service in the Imperial Guard that included several promotions, Zhuo was sent to snuff out the Yellow Turban Rebellion, but was ultimately defeated and demoted. The Liang Province Rebellion saw Zhuo reinstated and sent to suppress the rebels, and while he failed to defeat them, his unit was the only one to escape unscathed thanks to a cunning deception involving damming a nearby river. Huh. I want to know more about that. How can you dam a river to just go, our scout said that Zhuo was left at the river. Well, I don't see a river. I don't know. Anyway, Zhuo was subsequently promoted to General of the Vanguard and Inspector of Bing Province, but refused to take up his new post as he didn't want to leave his forces back in Liang Province. With the power of the Han dynasty waning, he settled in Liang Province to build up his own, with Sun Jian's suggestion that Zhuo's arrogance and insubordination was worthy of a death sentence going unheeded. Following the death of Emperor Ling of the Han, He Jin, just sounds silly when I say it, He Jin ordered Zhuo to lead troops to Liuyang in order to eliminate the 10 attendants. However, the latter assassinated He Jin before Zhuo arrived, with the capital falling into turmoil as a result. The 10 attendants took the child emperor Shao hostage and fled Liuyang, only to be intercepted by Zhuo, who returned the young emperor to the palace. Taking advantage of the ongoing chaos in the capital to offset his lack of popularity as a potential regent, Zhuo took command of the He family's leaderless forces and soon established himself as a tyrant, ruling through fear and intimidation. So, playstyle. Zhuo is trying to hold on to the last remnants of the Han imperial power, but as his fist grips tighter and tighter, opposition from the outside grows. It is this balance that is the cornerstone of Zhuo's playstyle. Will you rule with an iron fist, stabilizing your realm internally, but creating external enemies, or will you try to, at least in appearance, be gentler and make your enemies turn against each other? Crucially, Zhuo starts with the Han Emperor, Emperor Xian, under his control. This means that the still mighty Han Empire is his vassal, which provides him significant income and also means he can annex and integrate Han Empire territory by claiming ownership for himself, something that all factions are able to do if they control the Emperor. Zhuo also starts at a higher faction rank than all of the other playable factions. Interesting. So yeah, the faction rank, by the way, as you get that up, that you rise up to Emperor. Through that, you get different titles, and you end up Emperor, but I don't entirely know what happens. It just goes, oh, congratulations, you're Emperor now. I mean, it seems odd. But anyway, Zhuo also has access to a new resource, Intimidation. This measures his authority exercised through his iron fist and his cruelty and the amount of control he exerts over his territory and his subjects. High intimidation keeps characters under Dong Zhuo in line, with increased satisfaction, and reduces corruption across his realm, which is key in the later stages of the campaign. Conversely, low intimidation means less satisfaction and higher corruption. Interesting. Intimidation is increased by annexing or integrating Han Empire territory, winning battles, or executing other characters. Intimidation decreases when characters are promoted, or battles are lost, as well as decaying over time. Dong Zhuo can also spend intimidation to coerce other factions into more efficient diplomacy, meaning that with high intimidation he can force other factions into certain deals. Interesting. Overall, Dong Zhuo's playstyle revolves around juggling internal control with external threats. Much like the historical Dong Zhuo himself, you have a lot of power and the ability to make a lot of different things happen. But the reins are slipping away from you, and all the other warlords want a slice of the pie. And there's only one way to know how to maintain the upper hand: to rule with intimidation, tyranny, and an iron fist. Pretty cool. So, Guangxi. Dong Zhuo relies on a handful of strong generals, such as Zhang Lao, Li Ru, and I just sounded French there, didn't I? Ru, Li Ru, Le Ru, and Gao Si. But lacks trustworthiness in the eyes of his peers. His foster son, Lu Bu, considers him a friend, but he has personal rivalries with Sun Jian, Yuan Chao, and Cao Cao, who Dong Zhuo declared an enemy of the state. Dong Zhuo relies... this is going to be the same thing again, isn't it? That's the whole thing, right? Oh, there's also this, though. No, they're in there. No. Okay, this is reworded. I'm just going to read it again. Dong Zhuo relies on a handful of strong generals at his command, but also he counts a number of important faction leaders as his rivals from the start, meaning that diplomacy with them will be difficult. Additionally, thanks to the events preceding the campaign, Dong Zhuo also starts with a reduced diplomatic trustworthiness. Yeah, not a surprise. Lu Bu, his foster son, who Dong Zhuo convinced to kill his original foster father, Ding Yan, wow, brutal, considers him a friend, but he has personal rivalries with Sun Jian, who he has been actively fighting against him, Yuan Chao, who led the alliance against him, and Cao Cao, who Dong Zhuo has declared a prime enemy of the state. Dong Zhuo's faction also includes other such noteworthy figures as Zhang Liao, Li Ru, and Gao, maybe Gao Si? I'm not sure, not entirely sure. Yeah, neither of those syllables I'm entirely sure about, so we'll have to figure it out. So, starting position. So, he starts there. Yep. Pretty sure Wudu, that is where, what's his name? I've forgotten, hang on. Who was it? It was that one guy that was like, yeah, I like him, he seems a nice guy. Ma Tang, that's the one. Ma Tang starts there, in Wudu. So, cool. So yeah, he starts near him, which makes sense, you know, because they're sort of allied, aren't they? So yeah, so kind of cool. Right, so, as Dong Zhuo, time is on your side. If you can consolidate your immediate situation, you'll be in good position for the mid-game. However, this hinges on your success at stabilizing your starting situation and preventing the former coalition from reuniting against you. As Dong Zhuo, time is on your side. That's exactly the same thing as I just read there. Yep, and that too. Dong Zhuo's enemies are primarily to the east. Yuan Shu, Cao Cao, and Yuan Chao are all within striking range and could become a threat early on if you are too bold. To the north and south there is a lot of Han Empire territory that you could claim for yourself, but such actions will draw a lot of attention and might make other factions more aggressive towards you. However, it might still be the most efficient strategy to be aggressive as possible in order to get an early advantage. Equally, you can try to remain relatively defensive, consolidating your situation and letting the other warlords turn against each other. However, with this strategy you risk falling behind in the race to establish a strong mid-game power. Pretty cool. Initial dilemma. Dong Zhuo's dilemma primarily concerned. Wait, what? Dong Zhuo's dilemma primarily concern is his. Oh well, whatever. Is his relationship with Lu Bu. However, it's up to you to decide how best to handle the situation and keep the famous warrior in line. Unlike the other warlords, this outcome is dictated not by one, but but a chain of dilemmas and events, each of which depends on the selected game mode. Interesting. Interesting. Huh. Alright, well there's Lu Bu. He looks pretty badass, doesn't he? Yeah, big... Is that a trident? Is that a halberd? What would you call this? I don't know. But pretty cool. Nice feathers. Yeah, Lu Bu. I'm assuming he's a lot younger than this at the start. Anyway. In each playable Warlords campaign, they will face a unique dilemma after fulfilling certain prerequisite actions. These dilemmas will position the player at the fork in the road, marking a pivotal moment in that Warlord story. One of the options available to you is a choice reflecting what happened in history, and the outcomes will follow the events of the period. The other lets you forge a tale of what might have been. Total War is all about giving players the freedom to create their own stories in some of the most exciting periods in human history, and these initial dilemmas epitomize that spirit. Dong Zhuo's dilemma primarily concerns his relationship with, or alienation from, Lu Bu. However, it is up to you how best to handle the situation and keep the famous warrior in line. Depending on your choices, it may very well turn out you meet an early demise and end up being succeeded by the culprit himself. Unlike the other warlords, this outcome is dictated not by one, but by a chain of dilemmas and events, each of which depend on the selected game mode. In romance mode, Dong Zhuo's dilemma chain focuses around Diao Chan, the beautiful serving girl who turned Dong Zhu and Lu Bu against each other with their jealousy, which eventually led to Dong Zhuo's death. As Dong Zhuo, you can influence these events by giving up on Diao Chan. Again, not sure, guys. Not sure on that one. In order to gain Lu Bu's approval, or confirming his affection by marrying her, thus leading to a more difficult outcome. In classic mode, this dilemma chain is based around personal differences between Dong Zhuo and Lu Bu, as well as the political scheming of Wang Yun. Pretty cool. Cool stuff. Campaign progression. As with all the warlords, Dong Zhuo's path to victory depends on you. If you opt for a more passive, defensive strategy, the other warlords will eventually turn against each other, meaning Dong Zhuo will need to strike out in the later stage of his campaign. He will then find himself facing steadily stronger warlords and realms, and will have to battle it out with other warring factions on equal footing. An aggressive strategy early on will allow for quick expansion, but will also result in a lot of opposition from various sides right from the start. Dong Zhuo will also want to take Han territory wherever and whenever appropriate. Whatever his approach, Dong Zhuo will want to do his utmost to protect Emperor Xian, I think, anyway, and make sure he exploits his position and his role as tyrant to the fullest. So what kind of player is Dong Zhuo for? A lunatic, probably. Dong Zhuo is a warlord for anyone who's up for the challenge of keeping a crumbling realm together, ruling with authority and by inciting fear. For those willing to step into the shoes of a true tyrant. Pretty cool stuff. And once again, well, one last time I suppose, further reading. So you can get to this blog post in the link in the description, so you can find all the further reading for everybody, or just go ahead and read the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. That'll probably cover it all, so you know it's all good. So yeah, pretty awesome stuff. So that was Dong Zhuo, the Tyrant. And who's next? No one. It's Cao Cao again. Isn't that great? Yeah, enemy of the state, Cao Cao. You know what? Reading Dong Zhuo, it makes me think that Cao Cao is even more badass because he's an enemy of the state, which is really cool. He's the number one. He's, you know, number one most wanted. But anyway, Dong Zhuo. So that's that. That's all of them, guys. That's all of them. We finally got through them all. So yeah, hopefully you guys have all learned something. And yeah, when it comes to helping me decide who the heck I'm going to play as in 3K, hopefully you guys will be armed with a little bit more information to help decide. So yeah, should be fun. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and be sure to stay tuned for more Three Kingdoms stuff. Awesome. See you in the next one, guys. Have a good one.